I know it's like freaking 3 a.m. on the East Coast. I know it's midnight-ish around that time, Pacific time. But you know what? I'm a night owl. I'm doing a lot more day stuff, but I feel like I've been neglecting my night crowd. So I thought I'd go live, and nobody around right now. Going running. It's late, but I need to work out. I need to stay fit, and I also need to talk to you guys and talk fantasy football. Um, I want to talk a little NFL draft. I want to talk a little bit of early free agency moves that may. What's up, man? What's up, Adam? What's up? What's going on, bro? I wanted to talk about the press conference today, the Niner press conference. What's going to happen at 3? And I know I talk a lot of Niners lately, and I have a lot of Niner people that follow me, and that's because I have a lot of close associations with a lot of Niner pages and some big time people. You know, my boy Dr. Raj. But I think it's also important to talk about the Niner pick, the number 3 overall pick, because it sets the tone of the draft. The 3 and the 4. So the Niners at 3, the Falcons at 4 set the tone for everything. And we're talking about whether Denver trades up and gets a hold of that 4 pick, whether that pick is a quarterback, whether that pick at 4 to Atlanta goes Kyle Pitts. That could change the dynamic of everything, because if Kyle Pitts falls past number 4, then you have Sewell or Jamar Chase, maybe Kyle Pitts going to the Bengals. Once Pitts falls to 5, if Atlanta drafts a quarterback, or if Atlanta trades the pick to Denver and they take a quarterback, or something else crazy happens, you have Kyle Pitts, Jamar Chase, and Sewell falling to 5. And then you've got madness. You don't know what the hell is going to happen. I think a lot of people try and trade up at that point because the NFL draft's going to look a lot different. The landscape looks different. Everybody's going to have a player sitting there that they felt like, oh my God, I didn't know that he would be here. Wasn't sure if he'd be here. So that number 3 pick and number 4 pick in the NFL draft will set the tone entirely. Now, if the Niners take Lance instead of Fields, or Mac Jones instead of Fields, I think a lot of teams want to trade up, and you'll see a lot more movement inside the top 15. Anytime there's movement in this draft, your initial reaction is going to be quarterback, right? So other skill positions fall. Will Devonta Smith fall to 12, 13? Chargers pick at 13. The Eagles pick at 12. Cowboys are at 10. It could get crazy. There are a plethora of good landing spots for a lot of these guys in that 10 to 13 range, 10, 11, 12, 13. Talk about Kyle Pitts' dream come true. I don't think Kyle Pitts will fall to that slew of picks at 10, 11, 12, 13. But if he did, it would be absolutely insane. Those are amazing landing spots. I don't like Detroit for Kyle Pitts. I don't like New England for Kyle Pitts. New England could trade up, but I don't think they trade up for Kyle Pitts. I think if New England does trade up, they trade up for a quarterback. So New England probably is not going to land Kyle Pitts, thank God. They also have 2 tight ends. I don't know what Bill's doing. I wouldn't rule it out. I would not rule it out. But I think if New England trades up, because Kyle Pitts ain't falling to 15, New England's taking a quarterback. So let's remove New England, thank God, from the situation. So you have Detroit. You have a few places that I don't love, or maybe 1 or 2 that I don't love Kyle Pitts in. I like him in Atlanta at 4. I love him. I don't like him as much in Miami as I would in other places, although I don't hate it. I just don't love it compared to the other places. I think Miami is solid for Jamar Chase. It's okay for Jamar Chase. I don't mind that. But I think the most ideal spot by far and away, no question about it, no equivocation, no stutter, nothing. It's freaking Cincinnati with his boy Joe Burrow. Joe Burrow connected to his old college wide receiver, Jamar Chase, would be fire. It would be instant rapport. I know everybody's saying, oh, you can't. You got to take an offensive tackle. I've already explained this 100 times. I'll give you the short answer. Jamar Chase and a top of the second round offensive lineman will crush taking Sewell and whatever else they do with that pick. Even if they went offensive line and Sewell and offensive line in the second round, it wouldn't be as good as going Jamar Chase and offensive lineman in round 2. I've explained it 100,000 times. The basic gist is, okay, You stretch the field out, you command double teams, you change the defensive schemes you see from now until the end of time with Jamar Chase in there stretching the field, a spread out offense, and a receiver that can get open like Jamar Chase commands a quick release. A quick release turn for Burrow turns into a better offensive line. Production wise, you're going to get better production. You're going to get a healthy offensive line. You're going to get an offensive line that has to block for less amounts of time. It transitions everything. Like everyone acting like Jamar Chase doesn't immediately impact the offensive line play. They're ludicrous, man. They're not looking at this thing from multiple layers and levels. There's a reason Jamar Chase is in the conversation as the number 4 overall pick. I'm sorry, number 5 overall pick to the Bengals. There's a reason Joe Burrow would be okay with it. It's because it changes the offense. You give weapons to a guy like Joe Burrow, who already has weapons. I realize that. He has 2 pretty good receivers in Higgins and in Boyd. But Jamar Chase is generational. And with this draft having 5 quarterbacks, maybe 6 in the top 40, you're talking about 5 to 6 to 7 wide receivers by pick 37. You're talking, I think the Bengals pick at 36, 35, something like that, 37, somewhere in between 34 and 37. I don't have it off the top of my head. Believe it or not, I don't memorize everything before I go on a live, but it's somewhere in the 35 to 37 range. And if you know it, let me know in the comments here. But if the Bengals are looking at Kyle Pitts going in round 1, maybe 5 wide receivers, maybe more go by their pick. Maybe a 1 or 2 goes in the top of the second. 2 running backs at least by the time the Bengals draft, because Etienne and Harris, or maybe even Javonte Williams, maybe 3 running backs go. I know everyone thinks that's crazy. 38, thank you, Adam. By pick 38, you could have 3 running backs gone. You could have 5 to 7 wide receivers gone. You'll probably have 6 quarterbacks at least gone. You'll have 1 tight end gone. That's like half the draft already. Half of the top 32 will be those offensive skill positions. You mix in defensive players, offensive linemen will be there. You'll have Leatherwood, Cosme, someone like that, Mayfield, to pair with Jamar Chase. Instant improved offense. I don't care what anybody says. What's up, Double A? Haven't been around lately. It's okay, man. You're here now. I haven't done a lot of late night lives. Thank you, Martin. Najee going to the Steelers. Okay, let's talk Najee Harris. Where does Najee Harris go? Likely landing. Okay, I did a video on this. My ideal landing spots for Najee Harris are as follows. Number one, first and foremost, put him in a San Fran or Arizona Cardinal uniform, and you're talking about Najee Harris delivering some insane production, like top 5 running back production, because the system will, I think, set them up for that. I know that Drake didn't do well in Arizona. I know people were upset about Kenyon Drake, and he didn't do well. Smitty, you loved him. He got fed a ton. Was he efficient? Not really. Did he get the volume? On the ground, he did. If Najee Harris goes to Arizona, we've seen the commitment that the Cardinals have to one running back. Even injured, coming off an injury, they didn't say rest up, get healthy. We need you, Drake. They said, Drake, yeah, get out there, hurt, and take all the carries. And while Edmonds did get some, Najee Harris wouldn't share the workload. Najee Harris is a guy, especially if you spend draft capital on him like the Cardinals, if they were to take him in the first round, you would be looking at a team that would be ultra committed to giving that player all the work. Same thing with San Fran. San Fran would have to trade up into the first round again. They could do that. I've given and painted scenarios like maybe they trade Jimmy G and the 43 overall for the number 20 overall with like Chicago. That would be an ideal situation. So my favorite landing spots, Arizona and San Fran. Are they likely? Probably not as likely at all as compared to Pittsburgh, as said in the comments here. Pittsburgh, Miami, New York, the New York Jets, maybe Buffalo. I don't know that Buffalo, I think they would take ETN before they would take Najee, but Buffalo's a sneaky good landing spot for a running back in that bottom round one. I think Javonte Williams could go at the top of round two. There are a lot of teams that you saw pick at the top of the first round that could maybe buy in. I think the Jets could maybe want to get in that area to get Javonte Williams. They could take Javonte at the end of round one and take Zach Wilson at the two pick. Then at the bottom of round two, I forget where the Jets are picking at the bottom of round one. I'm sorry, they have two first rounders. The Jets could take Javonte Williams. What's up, media? And so I love these landing spots. I love these landing spots. I firmly believe that we're going to get two really, really good, maybe three really good landing spots for running backs. And there's not a plethora of landing spots available for starting running backs, but I think that these teams will, because other teams won't read. Here's the thing. This is why it was so easy to know that running backs were going to land in good locations. You know why? Back in the day, because of draft capital. A running back went really high in the first round. Multiple running backs went in the first round. And therefore, you knew that teams that didn't need them wouldn't draft them. The draft capital is way too high, right? Well, running backs have fallen out of the first round for a couple years now. It's commonplace. And you even get people that say, bro, there's no way a running back is going to go in the first round. I have people tell me that all the time. I don't agree. I think everything's different, everything's a cycle. Every draft, every situation, every team decision is case by case. And the bottom line is the teams are falling perfectly deep or in the middle or deep in the first round that need a running back. And therefore, they know they won't get that running back in the second round, or they don't want to risk losing them. And so teams will be more apt to spend that draft capital in this particular draft on one or two of these guys. I firmly believe Pittsburgh is in the market for a running back, although they could take Sermon in round 2 or 3. We don't even know where Sermon could go. Sermon could go at the end of round 1 or go in round 3. Pittsburgh could be in the Javonte Williams market. They could be in the ETN market. They could be in the Najee Harris market. I think Buffalo is a very specific. They'd do okay with Najee. Najee would do well there. They'd feed him a lot, but I don't think we want him going. We want ETN, a receiving back, to land in. I'm excited about this draft too, AA. It's the best draft we're going to see. I'm live. I hope you guys join me live here on the Fantasy Football Show. I'll be live during the entire first round, so I better see every one of you present and accounted for. Where was I at? Pittsburgh, Miami, New York Jets, Buffalo Bills, um, Cardinals. I don't rule the Cardinals out drafting Najee Harris at all. Do I think it's the most likely? Probably not. But is it definitely possible? Absolutely. James Conner signing doesn't make me think that it's out of the question. That doesn't influence me much at all. It's a $1.4 million deal, I believe. That's nothing big, nothing crazy. What was that? If I had to guess landing spots, I say Najee Harris either in Pittsburgh or Miami or in New York. ETN either in Buffalo, most likely in New York or in Miami. Sermon, Steelers, San Fran later would be kind of crazy. Chuba Hubbard, Arizona, San Fran maybe, Tampa Bay maybe. Tampa Bay could sneak into the running back game. That would be crazy. Javonte Williams, I picture in Miami. I could picture Javonte Williams maybe in a Steelers uniform, maybe a Jets uniform. It would be crazy if at 43 the Niners had a shot at Javonte Williams. I know a lot of Niner faithful will tell you, no way, it's a system. We don't need to invest in a running back. We've got running backs, but I truly believe a workhorse running back that has elite talent potential, at least like a Javonte Williams, like a Najee Harris, like an ETN, would thrive more than anybody can imagine in the 49er system. We've seen mediocre running backs almost turn great, but definitely turn good in that system. And everybody thinks, oh, we can't get any better. We're already in a top 2, top 3 rushing team. We don't need an ETN. We don't need a Najee Harris. We don't need any of those types of running backs. We're a system type organization. How do you know what a Najee Harris would do in that system? Like, I feel like it's closed-minded. I respect the opinions, but I feel like it's closed-minded to assume that you can't get double the output that you'd get using mediocre running backs in that system and then turning the reins over to a Najee Harris or someone like that. You know what? Yeah, Adam, they turned Mostert into a star, but he can't stay healthy. They turned Wilson into, a mini star, a temporary star. They're going to turn Gallman into a pretty good running back because we know Gallman's going to play a few games. But imagine if they put Najee Harris in there. Why does everybody assume that you wouldn't see a big uptick or we don't need a running back? Or one of the arguments today, I was talking to somebody about it. I forget where. I've done so many live streams and interviews today. I've been live pretty much all day doing shows and interviews, trying to promote the brand, right? And I forget who said it. Maybe it was a Clubhouse thing. I forget. But the guy's like, he said that it's a system. No, running backs, you don't want to have to, you get them for 3-4 years and then you got to give them a new contract, or fifth year option, whatever, and then give them a new contract. Who cares? Running backs have a 3 to 4 year window anyway. Like, you take a Najee Harris, you run him out there for 3-4 years. Address it when it comes. You could win a Super Bowl with Najee Harris running behind that offensive line. And if you're going to have a rookie, Trey Lance or Mac Jones or Fields under center, you want something that's going to keep defenses honest. So I think Najee would be ideal. Wide receivers, I'm really pumped about this class. Do I think it's better than last year's wide receiver class? No. I mean, Justin Jefferson, like the wide receivers that we're looking at in 2021 fantasy football and especially 2022, it's going to be crazy. How do you even rank these guys? How do you find places for Tyreek Hill and Devontae Adams in the mix of guys that are up and coming, the sophomores, the third-year guys, these rookies, Jamar Chase, Devonta Smith, now getting tossed into a wide receiver pool in fantasy football of the likes of DK Metcalf, Justin Jefferson, still Adams, still Tyreek Hill, now A.J. Brown. It's like Ridley. It's crazy, man. It's crazy. These wide receivers that we have in fantasy football for 2021, 2022, and beyond are elite. And if I'm building in a dynasty startup, especially if it's auction, I'm building around 3 of those big dogs. And then I try and do what I can at running back. I go get a James Robinson. In an auction, I bet you can get a Ridley and maybe a DK and probably a Jefferson, and still have enough money for a James Robinson because he's getting mad disrespect, and I don't think it's fair. James Robinson has a lot of potential, and he could be a top 12 overall player, but yet in dynasty startups, he's getting mad disrespected into the 3rd round. And I've even done mock drafts where, you can understand why people have these guys above James Robinson. So what it really tells you isn't that people are off their rocker as much as there's so much talent, younger talent that people feel that is proven, proven, like A.J. Brown, Ridley, guys like Akers and stuff people really love. And it forces J-Rob down. And J-Rob, to me, I'd rather have J-Rob than Akers. I'd rather have J-Rob at 3.1 in Dynasty, or what's up, cool? I'd rather have J-Rob at 3.1 in Dynasty, which is where he's falling. Like, congratulations for anybody drafting tomorrow morning. Wait on J-Rob. He'll be there. Or in redraft, he's like 15, 18. I see him fall there, and I'd rather have him there than Akers at 12 or 13, where Akers is kind of going now. I don't love it. I don't love Akers' value at all. I won't love Mixon if he climbs back into round 2. I like him kind of in round 3, and you've never heard me talk about Mixon in a positive way. I feel like Miles Sanders could have good value in round 3, but if he climbs back into round 2, I'm not about that. The 2021 class is overrated. Matt, I couldn't disagree more, but I still appreciate you. I think last year's class, this year's class, these wide receivers all together are going to be absolutely insane. This is one of the best rookie classes I think we're going to see for a long time. It's going to be insane. Yeah, Double A, I'll be live for the entire first round. I'll be live a little earlier. It's going to be exciting, man. I can't wait to see where all these elite talents fall, man. From Lawrence to Wilson, from Jamar Chase to Devonta Smith, from the running back class. I feel is not as good, even remotely as good as the Kyle Pitts two wide receivers and quarterbacks, the top two quarterbacks. That those pieces of the NFL draft are way more exciting to me than the actual running backs. But I think ETN is an elite talent. Smitty, won't you be in the quad box during the draft? Media, it's funny you say that, bro, because what I'll be having is the quad box plugged right into my YouTube, baby. So the quad box debate will be on YouTube. And then when they leave, when the quad box goes away, I'll continue my show. But yes, the quad box will be live on YouTube. That's how I roll, media. These wide receivers are undersized. Terrence Marshall is the only one. Matt, I don't agree with anybody that says Devonta Smith that weight is going to be an issue. He's still a 6'1" type receiver. Undersized, I don't think so. You want to say light? That he's got a weird build? Sure, but undersized? No. I love Devonta Smith. I don't consider him undersized from my perspective, from how I evaluate him. Is he a skinny dude? Is he the Slim Reaper? He certainly is. But undersized? He's light. He needs to put on some LBs maybe. Yeah, but I'm not even worried. I'm not even worried. And Jamar Chase is not undersized. I'm only worried about, I like Marshall, but when I say I love the wide receiver class, man, it's those two wide receivers. I love them enough that it makes this wide receiver class through the roof for me. Like, I'm okay with two wide receivers being locks. I like Waddle a little bit. Depending on his landing spot, I could like him a lot more. But I'm all about these two wide receivers, bro. It's all about Jamar Chase and Devonta Smith for me. Yeah, I'm not super excited, Matt, about. I mean, I like Waddle a little bit. I like Marshall, but I'm not in any way even talking about those guys when I say I love this class. I'm talking about the two quarterbacks. I'm talking about the two wide receivers. I'm talking about the one tight end in Kyle Pitts that makes the draft class fun as any draft class we've ever seen just because of him. And then you mix in really good running backs, not elite, not Barkley's, not Elliott's coming out where you're like, okay, this is the guy. We have three running backs that landing spot's going to make one of them a star. Because was Arian Foster the best running back ever? No. His situation mixed with a really good amount of talent made him Arian Foster. You can't separate situation from talent. They're one and the same. And Arian Foster was elite. It doesn't matter what kind of balance of situation and talent made up Arian Foster or Priest Holmes. But if you put ETN or Najee Harris or especially Javonte Williams, man, he's got such a well-rounded skill set from these three. You put any one of these guys in an ideal elite situation, you can get an Arian Foster. You can get a guy that's a top 5 running back. So while on its face, I'm not super pumped about the running backs as I am the wide receivers, Kyle Pitts, and the two quarterbacks. When I say two quarterbacks, I mean Lawrence and Zach Wilson. Bro, can't wait. QB rankings for this draft. Colts move up, take Sewell. Bateman. Yeah, this class is not overrated at all. I respect Matt's opinion, but I mean, we can disagree. Like, as long as everybody's respectful, I'm always fine with disagreements. But I disagree, and that's cool. Like, we're good. Thank you, Matt. Imagine the 49ers trade back into the first. Bro, I've been talking about it, media. You know I've been saying that over and over. If the Niners trade up, and media, how do you like my trade idea? The Bears, you trade the 43 and the 20. So the Niners move up from 43 to 20, and they give Jimmy G. It's ideal, bro. Is Sewell babyface Joe Tom? I like Sewell. But bro, not as much as I love. Uh, Hold on, that dude has to do that at freaking midnight. I like Sewell, but not as much as I like Jamar Chase going to the Bengals, bro. What's up, Brian? I can't. I hope the Niners do it, but I love it. I love it. I've been talking it up for a week now. Media, no one else likes it. I talked about the Niners drafting Najee, and the quad box didn't like it. I was the only one. Kind of like I've been the only one for a while on the Trey Lance wagon, but now I feel like I'm picking up some momentum there. What was that question? QB ranking. So you've got Trevor Lawrence is the number one. Now, I like Zach Wilson about as much, but the situation and path to immediate success probably a little bit better for Trevor Lawrence than it is for Zach Wilson. So I'm on the Trevor Lawrence um, and Zach Wilson trains. I'm conducting those bad boys. I've been conducting them for a while. It's kind of hard to conduct two trains at the same time. I feel like Jean-Claude Van Damme doing the splits on both trains as I'm driving. I think I need to do a meme like that. I need to do a meme. I'm doing the splits on both trains as I conduct them down the track, waiting for the NFL draft to kick off on Thursday. I'll be live here on the fantasyfootballshow.com. The link you can always find my show at if you get lost. But, bro, I'm excited about both of these quarterbacks, and I don't even want to pick. It's like ask me what child do you like better. I like both of them. Both are my children. Both are my children. And I think that Zach Wilson has a better, quicker response in New York than people are giving him credit, like imagining. I think that Zach Wilson will turn the franchise around quickly, like Josh Allen turned around the Bills. And if you ask, well, how do you predict that? I did. I talked about that. I talked about it. Josh Allen was my breakout quarterback in 2018. I put him on there as a top 4 quarterback in 2018, and I said that he would be as good as he is right now. It took a little longer than I thought. I think I said it would be. It happened by the end of 2019, not the end of 2020. So I was a year early. But the bottom line is, quarterbacks are kind of my wheelhouse, broskies. And I see what I saw in Josh Allen. I see it in Zach Wilson. I see it in Trevor Lawrence. I don't know that I see it in Lance Fields or Mac Jones at all. But situation matters a ton. And San Fran, if we're talking about one of these quarterbacks going to San Fran, Trey Lance could be elite. Trey Lance could be. I don't actually. Let me take that back. I want to say elite. He could be really freaking good. Trey Lance could be a 6 to 10 quarterback in that San Francisco offense. I will reserve elite for just Wilson and Lawrence because we can only have so many elite people, and elite to me feels top 5 ish. I mean, it depends on the context of the conversation, but I truly believe that Wilson and Lawrence will be elite, top 5, top 6 quarterbacks in 2022, 2023 by then. I think if you want me to rank the quarterbacks in general, Dynasty, fantasy football, total, throw the rookies in, I'm going to go Mahomes. I'm going to go Josh Allen, and I'm going to go Herbert. So Mahomes, Allen, and then Herbert. And then past that, you're looking at a mixed bag between Kyler Murray, Lawrence, Wilson, who am I leaving out? Burrow. Like you have a grip of QBs that are going to fight and fight hard for that 5 and 6 spot. And I really, really believe, Lamar, you can throw Lamar in there. I do worry about Lamar longevity wise, though. I'm not going to lie. I know I'm going to get some hate for that, but 2024, I don't know that we're having a conversation about Lamar being in the top 5. And I know that's going to sound pretty harsh to a lot of people, but I don't know. I don't know that Lamar is going to be in my top 5 or 6 conversation in 2 years from today. He runs a ton. I don't know that he's the good enough of a passer that if the running isn't there for him, which it wasn't at the beginning of the year, which is why Lamar struggled. We saw Lamar disappear for about a half a season. People are so quick to forget that he did vanish and he got figured out according to a lot of people. I don't know that I would put it that way, but Lamar failed. Lamar faltered. Lamar was almost bench worthy in a lot of circles. I know because I have an Ask Smitty, HeySmitty.com product where I get questions every day, and I can't tell you how many should I put Lamar on the bench questions I got on a weekly basis because Lamar Jackson failed for half of a year. Given the expectation level, given the draft value of about 2.8 to probably 3.4 was probably his range. He failed. He failed. You were losing games because of Lamar not delivering. And so I don't think it's that crazy to say that in 2 years, maybe the third year, so maybe 2 more years, he's in the conversation for top five quarterback numbers. But once the running isn't an option anymore, once he slows down and can't run, he doesn't have the skills as a quarterback or the production as a quarterback. He's not a top 10 quarterback without the running. The running is what does it. And I don't like and prescribe to the Lamar Jackson's like having an extra running back. No, he's not. Like that's the most ludicrous thing I've ever heard. Lamar Jackson's like having an extra running back. He's not, because his quarterback production isn't up to par with the other quarterbacks in the top five. He has to have that running to get brought back up into the top five mix. So he's not like having another running back. You could say he's a running back without the passing if you want. Word it however you want. But Lamar Jackson, I worry about it. I don't like Tua. I see that comment here. I think if Tua gets Jamar Chase and an offensive lineman in round one, if the Dolphins take Chase at number 6, and if the Dolphins at the bottom half of round one, what's up, Tyler, take an offensive lineman, and then the Dolphins, who still pick in the top of round 2, take Javonte Williams. How much can I dislike Tua? Will I start Tua? No, but will Tua be efficient enough to get the offense going, win games? Yeah, late night streams should be back moving forward. At least a couple of week minimum. I like Tua more then, as a manager, as a potential guy that can move the chains. I kind of like Tua, like not as a starter, not fantasy starter, but I don't know that he'll fail or bust out of the league. Do I think the Dolphins should take Lance? Maybe. I don't like them spending. I like them getting Jamar. If I'm the owner, I like them getting Jamar Chase. I want Jamar Chase in the Bengals uniform. But do I like Lance over Sewell? I know you guys think I'm crazy, but I do believe Lance would be electric in that Miami offense, and you could still get a very good offensive lineman at the end of round 2. And so if you took Lance at number 6, you took an offensive lineman at the end of round 1, and you take Javonte Williams in round 2, at the top of round 2, Miami wins the draft. They have a potential top 5 running back. They take Lance, and they have a future runner, a quarterback that runs the football, and they get an offensive lineman. Broskies. The Dolphins win the draft. The Dolphins also have all the other pieces in place. This team's going to be elite. You could also take Jamar Chase, offensive lineman, a tackle, and then take another offensive lineman too. Dude, I don't care what anybody says. Yeah, they take freaking. I don't know. Miami could win the draft. But I think that Chase, offensive lineman, Javonte Williams would probably be the best recipe. But man, would I love to see him get Lance. Devonta Smith would be a smart move football-wise, but I don't want him there because I want him going to a place where he can get fed more targets. I don't know that I trust Tua enough at all. What's up, Cowboys family? We got to do a live soon. Talk about Dallas while you're here. I don't believe that freaking Kyle Pitts is going to fall to the Dallas Cowboys pick, but man, can you imagine? Dallas could trade up. They've talked about trading up, but I don't think they trade up. I think that they see that as a pretty costly move. I don't know if they're going defense. You can give me your thoughts, Cowboys family. Fed more targets come down to Cleveland. Devonta. No, we don't want Devonta in Cleveland, bro. No. Please, no. Sorry, I don't mean to crap on that as a landing spot, but I want Devonta. I want my Devonta Smith, bro, in Philly. I want my Devonta Smith in a Chargers uniform. Can you imagine Herbert to Devonta Smith for a decade? Can you imagine? Like Kyle Pitts, Jamar Chase, Devonta Smith playing with Herbert. Give me one of those players on that Chargers roster. Please give me. I already think Herbert could be early candidate for MVP. I already think that Herbert is on the fast track of being a top 3 quarterback. I already feel like the Chargers will be this year's Buffalo Bills. You want a turnaround team, and this one isn't as bold as Buffalo because the Chargers look good at times. They just couldn't win games. But you want the turnaround team immediately, the team that's going to potentially be a top 6 overall team in 2021 and have that shot of being that Super Bowl appearing team that kind of shocks everybody. You go put money on in Vegas. This would be a good one. If you're putting down some money on a show, I freaking love Herbert this year. But you give him Devonta Smith or Kyle Pitts or something like that. Imagine. I cannot wait. Chargers pick at 13. Chargers will be drooling over the idea of getting Devonta Smith at number 13. And teams are worried about him enough that I could see it potentially happening. I could see Devonta Smith falling to pick number 13, and I would be just drooling all over the place. I'll have drool coming out of my mouth. I'll be changing my clothes by the top of or by the end of the first round. I'll just be excited as can be. I'll be dancing in my studio. I will break dance in my studio if Devonta Smith lands in a Chargers uniform. I will try and do a break dance inside my studio. I'll be live the whole first round, so you better join me. Don't be late. I'm gonna parlay Devonta Smith to the Chargers and then the Chargers Super Bowl and put 100 down. That'd be lit, Matt. That happens. You're flying me out to Vegas to cash that in, bro. Devonta outside the top 10, hot take. Bro, it's not hot. It's not hot. People are worried about him. People think he weighs 125 pounds, and they're like, I'm out. Devonta Smith is getting hate on. If there's going to be a player that falls, and we're like, whoa, it's Devonta Smith. It's not Kyle Pitts. It's not Jamar Chase. It's probably not. It could be Mac Jones, but he could go number 3, or he could fall to pick 15 to the Patriots, man. Surtain is a solid move. I think Surtain's probably the most likely pick. I mocked Surtain to the Cowboys probably the most. Yeah, man, Herbert. Herbert is my Chargers to the Super Bowl. Chargers to the moon. We're gonna talk about that on the show a lot. Chargers to the moon. We're gonna let the dragon out, unleash the dragon, let the dragon loose, and it's gonna be the Chargers, baby. Chargers. Cowboy. While you're in here, Cowboys family, you guys know it's CeeDee Lamb season. You know, CeeDee Lamb. Cowboys family had me on your show, and I will talk about how CeeDee Lamb is top 5 bound. CeeDee Lamb is going to be a top 1 to 5 wide receiver in 2021. I cannot wait. I'm excited. I'm ecstatic. I'm thrilled. I'm ready. I worry about Zeke Elliott. I think we have to have a big conversation about Zeke Elliott. I think Zeke Elliott and Pollard together are a safe duo. I think that Cowboys rushing attack is protected and going to do fairly well. But Pollard's getting a lot of work right next to Zeke in practice. We saw them lean on Pollard a lot last year. I don't think it's out of the realm of possibility that there's more of a sharing situation than anybody anticipates. You know, in Dallas in 2021, which will be uncomfortable, which will be a little shocking to a lot of people. People will be frustrated. People will be throwing their arms up in the air. It also wouldn't shock me if Zeke returned to form and got a boatload of the work, and you don't see Pollard in there that much. It wouldn't shock me at all. Yeah, Daddy Kong, I know you want Zeke to bounce back. I want Zeke to bounce back. but Zeke has a grip of mileage that if you look at the mileage and the numbers, there's a reason to be worried about Zeke Elliott bouncing back. There's a reason he looks pretty good. Some people have said he looks slow in some of his workout videos. I think he looks okay. I don't think he looks like ultra quick, but he looks like Zeke. He looks like a beast of a guy. I think Zeke will be fine at the value and risk that you have to pay and spend. Like we're talking about 8 overall, but I don't know, man. I have a little bit of a worry about Zeke, and I don't feel like I'm ultra comp. Like when someone says, hey, should I take Zeke or should I take Devontae Adams? Honestly, man, Adams is safer. If you need a running back or you only like to build running back built teams, I get it. All right, Adam, take it easy, man. I get it. I get why somebody would want to roll with Zeke Elliott and roll that dice, but I'm okay rolling the dice on Zeke in 1 league, 2 leagues out of my freaking 20 that I do, maybe even 3 leagues out of 20. That's still a low percentage, but I'm not recommending anybody even put 30 or 40% of their leagues in the hands of Zeke. Maybe one or two. If you do 3 leagues, 1. If you do 5 leagues, probably still 1. Make sure you get Pollard. And if you're a crafty SOB like me, you're going to draft Pollard in every league you have, whether you own Zeke Elliott or not. Because guess what? Pollard is a super running back, a super fantasy football running back, super handcuff, as I coined the phrase many years ago. He is a super handcuff. Tony Pollard is a super handcuff. Tony Pollard could win you a league if Zeke Elliott goes down to injury. Not the craziest thing in the world to imagine, or gets in trouble, also not out of the realm of possibility. Am I right? And Tony Pollard gets in there. Tony Pollard is a top 10 running back. I like Pollard. I think Pollard's a sneaky good freaking guy to grab at the end of every single draft you have. So that's all I got to say about that. That's all I got to say about the Cowboys. I think Dak bounces back. I saw a comment earlier. I'm sorry, I'm just addressing it now. That said, hey, do you have Dak in your top 5 quarterbacks in Dynasty? No, I don't. I don't hate him being in anybody's top 5. He's certainly in the conversation for 6 to 7, even 5 to 7. I'm okay with that. I won't laugh at anybody putting Dak at number 5 or 4. But for me, the guys I named, you got Mahomes, Allen, and Herbert, and this is fantasy, so it's slightly different, not a whole lot different. Usually goes hand in hand, and pretty much is going hand in hand here. But you have Mahomes, this is Dynasty, you have Mahomes, Allen, Herbert. Then you have to talk about Kyler, Trevor Lawrence, Zach Wilson, Lamar Jackson, Joe Burrow, and to be honest, I mean, Burrow could be 5, or Burrow could be the last one on that group that I just told you, especially in 2021 when he's coming back from injury, and there's already a little worry that he'll be cutting it close, getting ready for week 1. I think he will be. But Lamar could be the bottom or the top of that list of names I read off after Mahomes, Allen, and Herbert. Yeah, Benny, what's up, brother? I'm going to be coming on live on nighttime lives now. But I hope you guys all join me on Tuesday and Thursday. I'm live every Tuesday and Thursday at 4 p.m. Eastern for 3 straight hours, every single Tuesday and Thursday. So please listen to it, the show. If you can't watch, put it on in your pocket, put it on, jump in, ask a question. I'm doing that day live, but I'm not going to, take away my night live streams. I'm just, I'm getting back going on the night stuff. Gibson could potentially catch 60 passes. I totally agree with that. Gibson could be, you want to be careful not to buy too many shares of guys like that have never been proven to be a starting running back in the NFL. I mean, or in college. He wasn't a starting running back in college. Kind of crazy how that unfolded, and Washington uses him perfect to a T, which you usually don't see. But with a guy that wasn't proven in college, a team doesn't bank on him as a full-time running back at the NFL level, but Washington does, and he looked damn good. Definitely own him in 2021. Gibson could be top 5 running back potentially, but you want to make sure you don't you don't buy too many shares and have your league go up in the flames. Um, what's up, bro? You're in Scottsdale. That's awesome. I do some meet and greet stuff with COVID. All that got shut down, but I go to a couple local sports bars for the CBS radio show. I do that in North Phoenix. So I'll tell you, if we get into that situation where we're back out talking to people out and about, COVID's kind of in the rear view, bro. I'm gonna be doing a lot of like local meet and greet stuff. So I'll be expecting you. Make sure you have your notifications turned on, and especially make sure you have your notifications turned on IG and YouTube. Because if I do a meet and greet, I'll be putting it on Instagram, and you'll see the story post, and I don't want you to miss it. So be certain to be ready for that. Um, who's your favorite second year running back? Um, I know you guys are going to think I'm just digging my heels in. Obviously, Jonathan Taylor is the top running back. Um, are you getting the vaccine? I have gotten it. I didn't really know if I wanted to. I'm always mixed and torn on it. But newborn baby, Miss Smitty, made me, to be honest. She's watching, babe. I'm just kidding. Not kidding. Um, she's probably like, where are you at right now? She's probably watching. She's probably watching. Um, what was I saying? Second year running back, Jonathan Taylor clearly is the top guy to get. But do I think that Clyde Edwards-Helaire could give him a run for his money at third round value? So you ask me, do I like Jonathan Taylor at number 5 overall, or do I like Clyde Edwards-Helaire at 3.8? Those are two very different questions. Who do I like as the top running back? Who do I like to invest in as the top running back, or the sneaky good pick between the two? I like them both. I love them both. I think Clyde's gonna really change some minds. Akers, to answer your question about Akers, I don't know, bro, what I feel about Akers. I know that the talent is there. I don't think I was wrong on him last year. I called him one of the bigger busts of 2020 because I feared that the freaking coaching staff there, McVay and that Rams coaching staff, would not utilize him properly. And for those that I occasionally see people going, Smitty, you're wrong about Akers. I wasn't wrong. Akers wasn't used until the end of the year. If you owned Akers, you already lost if you were counting on him. And people drafted Akers like people drafted other running backs that they expected to start week 1, and Akers was highly overdrafted. Akers failed people. Just because he looked good at the end of the year doesn't mean Akers lived up to anywhere close to 2020 rookie expectations. He just didn't. And why is that? Because the Rams failed to use him. So if people are going to come in here and say Akers, and I know no one is coming in here, I'm yelling at no one, but let's pretend someone came in here and is like, Akers, bro, I'm going to yell at him. Don't overbuy this guy at pick 12 overall, pick 13 overall. I do mock drafts with you guys all the time, and I see him go at 12 and 13, the bookend picks, the turn from round 1 to round 2. Way too costly. Do it in one league. If your gut tells you to do it, and that's the league you want to own him in, and you can't trade down, by all means, try it. Whatever. Trust your gut. But I'm telling you, I'm staying away from Akers at 12 or 13 overall. I don't trust that Rams coaching staff for anything. If anybody thinks that it's a lock that they're going to come out and say Akers is our guy, we're going to feed him all the work, and you don't think there's a shot, that they could come out and be like Henderson and him are going to split it, or we're going to have a committee, or we're going to have a competition. Like, you don't think that's possible from this coaching staff? You're mad, because we've watched them muck up the entire situation for years now. Taylor is in top 5 territory already, Daddy Kong. He could go number 5. And I like him. He's the clear number 1 sophomore running back to own by far. I'm just telling you, and hit that thumbs up. I see, there's 23 to 50 of you bouncing in and out, and I got 9 thumbs up. Really? It's cold out here for an Arizona boy here in Phoenix here, and actually feels a little chilly out tonight we're normally around 99 to 105 degrees. It feels like it's in the, I don't know. Somebody look up the weather in Phoenix. It's probably like 89. It feels cold out. It was going to rain earlier. I don't know what the hell happened to the weather. I like it. I love cold weather. I like, and this isn't cold. I know a lot of you from New York are going to be like, this guy doesn't know what cold weather is. Yeah, top 5 territory for, you're not going to get me arguing with you, bro. Media, what's up, bro? None of them, Mitchell says, none of them do anything to your DNA. They use mRNA. Oh, you're talking about the virus? Yeah, I don't know, bro. Thoughts on Connor? I don't like James Conner as like a option. He's like a dart throw. You know what I mean? Swift, I don't like Swift in 2021. I'm staying away from Swift like I was staying away from Akers. You know, last year. I feel like Akers and Swift are in the same vein for 2021. I think Akers is definitely got more upside and appeal. The offense is good. I mean, it's the Detroit quarterback coming over. You know, Akers lost his quarterback, lost his wide receiver, is injury prone, or at least I'm worried about injury, and has a dismantled offense that isn't going to go anywhere in 2021. Stay clear away from Swift. Akers and Swift were both going in the top 14 overall until that trade happened. Now I think people are backing off on Swift, but I don't know that they're backing off enough. I'm not about Swift at all in 2021. Akers, I'm okay with Akers, but it'd have to be late second round value, which probably won't happen in any of the leagues I'm in. So I'm out on Akers for that reason. I'd rather take a safer Ridley. I'd rather take a safer Justin Jefferson. I'd rather take James Robinson over Akers in redraft. And while I get the argument for Akers over J. Rob in Dynasty, I don't know that it's that laughable to be like J. Rob's got a long career ahead of him too. Who cares if he was an unrestricted free agent? People undervalue James Robinson a ton. People act like that Urban Meyer coming into Jacksonville is just going to discard the old. Let's get rid of James Robinson. We're going to draft a running back. Could it happen? Yeah, it could. Draft capital for running backs in general is lower than it used to be. And even though 1 or 2 running backs could go in round 1 or maybe even 3 by the end of pick 40, it doesn't mean that Chuba Hubbard won't fall. It doesn't mean that Carter won't fall or Hill or Jefferson. There's a lot of running backs in this class that could fall to Jacksonville, but I freaking love James Robinson. And I'm okay with him. All right, back to football. I'm not talking. Okay. Jefferson is the new Michael Thomas in fantasy. Jefferson is the most likely wide receiver. Him and Lamb, 2 that are not ranked number 1 overall in fantasy for wide receivers. The 2 most likely to finish number 1, surprisingly number 1 overall, would be Jefferson and Lamb. These 2 guys have the makings of a top 1 to 5 wide receiver. They feel A.J. Brown and DK Metcalf from last year all over the place. That's how I view these 2 guys. DK and A.J. Brown were my boys. I did like Hollywood Brown a ton. I admit it. And Lamar Jackson's a big reason why he failed. But I admit my misses too. What's up, Joe? Guy in my league wants 2 2001 firsts and a player for Akers. He said that's what he's worth. So, yeah, I would not give a guy in my league wants 2 2001 firsts for Akers. That's a lot. It depends on where the first rounders are. Like if you told me those are 1.11 and 1.12, which you don't know, right? Either 2021 first. So where are the first round picks, though? It depends, man. Sneakiest rookie wide receiver? God, that's tough. Akers does feel like fool's gold in a way, bro. So did Henderson. You know, in hindsight, I regret believing in Hendy because his situation blew. But we didn't quite know how that was going to shake out. We had gotten a whiff of what they did with Todd Gurley and lied to us and played that whole game. But we didn't truly know yet. But I still blame myself, you know. And Henderson, he showed a lot of good value last year for a string of games, man. You got to, if you watched Hendy play when he was going off, he looked good. He looked good. That's why I say don't trust Akers fully, because not at top 12 overall value, because we saw Hendy play good too. Everyone needs to stop acting like Hendy didn't have a short run of really good production. He did. He did. I like Tony. If I'm talking about wide receiver, sneaky wide receivers, Marshall's not a sleeper. And Tony, if I had to throw one out, there's a lot of them. I mean, you guys are all throwing out good names. Super talented system. I don't know. Are you guys all going to be live with me during the NFL draft? I'll be live during the entire first round. 49er Media will be there. We're doing an Instagram live quad box. 49er Media, you can jump on with me on YouTube after if the quad box ends early. But we do a quad box live on IG that I'm going to patch into my live stream. And yeah, so we'll definitely. I like Tony a lot, man. He's, like I said, he's my. If I had to throw one out, that was the guy. I'll be live. Entire first round, commentary, fantasy football breakdowns, you name it. I'm going to throw these rookie updates into my sleeperu.com. How many wide receivers will go in the first 2 rounds, do you think? First 2 rounds? I don't know, man. That'd be a hard guess. I think first round, you're going to have 1, 2, 3, 4, maybe 4 or 5 in round 1. And then, I mean, 1 or 2 by the first 15 picks in round 2. So definitely don't know. I may be down after the pick. I'm hopping on another channel. I might be able to join you after. Okay. Waddle is my Tyreek comp, says Mitchell. Ravens going for Tony first round. Bro, that'd be crazy if Tony went in the first round. I've heard some whispers about that, but I don't know. That seems high. I think round 2 would be more likely, but you never know. Cardinals should trade up for Waddle. That's my favorite spot for Waddle to land. I wouldn't mind that, Daddy Kong. I think Devonta Smith, that would be kind of cool too. Hopkins is, definitely not going anywhere right now, but, in 3 years, who knows what could happen. Torch could be handed at that point, and wide receivers used to break out in their third year. So I don't think it's too early, I guess. My initial reaction the other night when someone did say Devonta Smith in Arizona, I was like, I'd rather have him a couple other places. And I still would. A couple other, not a ton of places, but a couple. But the more I thought about it, I'm like, you know what? Hopkins, he's elite right now. And look at Julio, like Hopkins, give Hopkins 2 or 3 years, and then we start looking at him differently from a different lens. So they were 1.4 or 1.5 for Akers. I'd rather have the 1.4 or 1.5 over Akers. You see the advanced on Javonte Williams hit some like 5-6 of the markers. Oh, I think I know what you're saying. Javonte Williams could be the best running back in the draft. Javonte Williams post-draft, after the draft, could be the 1.1 across the board in fantasy. Like if he lands in Miami in round 2, like this is one of those things where after the first round, everybody thinks, oh, we know what's going on with the running backs. We've got them ranked. And then round 2 comes, and then it's like, holy crap, Javonte Williams lands in Miami. Now he's the 1.1. Like Javonte Williams, so round 1 could end, and we think we know what the 1.1 looks like in fantasy. And then in round 2, Miami turns Javonte Williams from number 6 overall in rookie-only drafts to the 1.1. Javonte Williams could be the 1.1 if he landed in Miami as a starter. Jaguars, Lawrence, and then second, Trey Sermon. I don't know that they need Trey, Daddy Kong. I can understand that some people feel that way, and do I think it's possible? Yeah, but I really hope they don't put J-Rob in that position, because I believe J-Rob is the guy. Smitty, he wanted my 1.5 and 1.4 and a wide receiver for Akers. I quickly said, hell no. Yeah, I definitely would rather have the 1.4 and 1.5, especially with Devonta Smith falling. Bro, you got Kyle Pitts and Jamar Chase going with Devonta Smith. You pick, 2 of those 3. The 1.4 plus an okay player would be fair for Akers, says Matt. If it's Jamar Chase I don't do that. If it's Devonta Smith, I'd rather have. I know it sounds crazy, but I'd rather have those players in 1 year from now. Now, do I try and get more or squeak out some kind of deal to get that? Like, let's say I had Akers, I would try and get way more than Devonta Smith because I could. But a year from now, I feel like I'm gonna be like, I'd rather have Smith, bro. I'm just not buying in. I'm not okay. So here, I said this earlier. What are the odds? I'm guessing I'm throwing out arbitrary percentages and numbers. This is not exact science, like Jesse Pinkman said. It's not science, biatch. It's just me throwing out a guesstimation of percentages. Okay, so let me start off with that. What are the odds percentage wise that Akers delivers and has a top 5 to 10 running back season? The odds there is an amount of percentage that I will throw out that he could do that. Okay, Akers as a top 5 to 10 running back, 25-30% chance he's a top 5 to 10 running back. So if Akers ends up being a top 5 to 10 running back, will I believe that I'm wrong? No, I won't. And anybody comes in here and says, Smitty, you were wrong about Akers, I'm going to say, no, it wasn't. I told you he has a 25 or 30% chance of being a top 5 to 10 running back. I told you on a live at whatever time it is, whatever day it is. I don't even know this. What day is it? It's two. I don't know what the date is anymore. I always forget what day it is because I don't work a normal job. I work 7 days a week. They're rolling days. I never take days off. Even when I go on vacation, I'm working. But I didn't say later media. I didn't say anything to the sort. I said that the odds are 25 to 30% that Akers will be a top 5 to 10 running back. I don't like those odds. Not with my number 12 overall pick. I take a guy like Justin Jefferson over Akers because I feel like the odds of Jefferson being a top 1 to 5, or let's just say top 5 wide receiver, top 7, or if we're going to say the same value, top 10, top 5 to 10. I feel like the percentages of Jefferson being a top 5 to 10 wide receiver feel somewhere around 80%. So it's a numbers game. It's going with the higher likelihood of something happening. Do I think Akers is a lock to bust? No. I just said 35%, 25 to 30% chance he is a top 5 to 10 running back. It's not good enough. It could happen. I won't be wrong. I just feel there's safer options out there. The risk of him busting, the risk of him getting hurt. You have more than one thing to worry about. You have the Rams coaching staff to worry about. Okay, that's one red flag. You have injury to worry about. He's an injury-prone guy. You have style of play that leads to injury with his lowering of his head, his aggressive running. He is a likely to get hurt player by nature. And so for me, 25-30% chance of doing it, not good enough for my number 12 or 13 overall, even if it's potentially in the cards. Bottom line, Akers is kind of living off of the hype of Todd Gurley. Yeah, and bro, Hendy you don't know what's going to happen. They could draft a running back. They could. I'm staying away from Akers and Swift. Again, even Swift, there's an odds percentage that he could be a 5 to 10 running back. I won't lose any sleep at night if Akers or Swift becomes a top 10 running back. I'll lose 0 hours of sleep because what I'm telling you is this: he's not a lock to bust. There's just a significant chance he does, one that I'm not willing to take or advise people to take. I'm out of here for tonight. I appreciate all of you. Make sure you follow me on Instagram. Go to smitty1.com. You'll see all my social channels. My audio podcast is kicking into high gear. I'm going to produce one podcast a day. Every day there'll be a podcast. Some of it will be repurposed from YouTube, but not everything because it doesn't all translate. I don't want someone listening to something and getting frustrated because it's got to be visual. So sometimes I repurpose like the Tuesday and Thursday shows because people want to hear them. But the podcast is dropping every single day. I'm going to go live at night a lot here on YouTube to give you guys, you night people, your dose of fantasy football. Listen to my podcast, bro. Every day I drop. Go right now. Every day I'm dropping one. Go forward every day. It's on Spotify, bro. The Fantasy Football Show. Search for that bad boy on Spotify, on Anchor, on iHeart, everywhere. Every Tuesday and Thursday, bro. Every Tuesday and Thursday. I'm gonna be live on YouTube, bro. Every Tuesday and Thursday. I've been live on YouTube every Tuesday and Thursday, 4 p.m. Eastern. Come get some. Live on YouTube every Tuesday and Thursday. And I've got a whole lot of other stuff in the works. It's going to be absolutely off the hook. I'm getting involved in Clubhouse pretty heavily. Locker Room. Are you guys on Locker Room? Definitely go to Locker Room. Um, Locker Room is really, really, I think, going to get bigger and bigger. And I'm going to try and work with them to potentially, we're going to see. I'll talk about it later. But Locker Room is going to be pretty cool. Download the Locker Room app. Find me. My handle's Fantasy Football. If you're on Clubhouse, my handle is Fantasy Football. I've got that handle on both. I got it on lock, baby. Fantasy Football on both Clubhouse and Locker Room. Spotify is clutch in the car. Yeah, you guys need to be listening to my Spotify podcast. So catch you later. And if you guys want to text me, go to heysmitty.com. Ow, just hit my head. Heysmitty.com is how you can order my text service, on-demand text messages at heysmitty.com. If you want to text me on demand, let's work on your trades. Let's work on everything. Heysmitty.com. Get some. I appreciate every one of you. We had a pretty good, live for giving out late it is. It's 4 a.m. Eastern. We got 20, 30 people coming in and out. Appreciate you. Heysmitty.com, Smitty1.com. Get it. Later.